The most successful maze books have two main things in common. One is they have a theme, and two, regardless of the overall complexity of the mazes, they contain more than just the traditional maze designs that were popular 10, 20 years ago. Today, I'm going to demo for you a new software called the Best Maze Generator. Now, I'll be honest, with a name like that, it better be epic. Now stick with me, because not only am I going to share my screen and show you what the system can actually do, but I'm going to lay out for you what features are included in each of the tiers so you'll know exactly what you'll get depending on what you decide to buy, if you decide to buy at all. And I'll make you a deal. If you promise to hit that like button, I'll even include timestamps to make things even easier for you. Do we have a deal? Good. Well, let's get started. Let me just start off by saying, if you see something along the way that you absolutely have to have, you can check this out on kwheelerbooks.com/BMG for Best Maze Generator. So again, here we are in the generator, and they always have a default collection, but I always like to start my own. And I like to start it and give it a name based on what the book is going to be about. So we're just going to call this one Springtime. And the reason why I like to do that is when you download your files, it's going to have this name. And so especially when you start creating multiple books, you want to make sure that you can tell just by looking at the file what it is. So you don't have to keep opening them and, oh, this isn't the one I want. So just a little heads up. So we're going to get started. Just like with most of the apps that Narajan and team do, it's, over here on the right-hand side is going to be what your book is. And then the left-hand side are your options. So as you can see, there's a lot of maze options. It may look familiar if you've seen the hand-drawn maze app that they've done. It is similar, but this one is like the next level. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. So let me start off by showing you some examples of what you can do in it. And then again, I'm going to break down by what's included in each tier so you know exactly what you're getting based on what tier you want to buy. So let's just start with this very first one. You just click on it. It pops it over to here. It fits nicely in the center, but I can always click in it and use the corners to change the size. Since I clicked on the maze, I have an option here as well as an edit. We'll get to that in a second, but I can flip the image, so I can flip it vertically or horizontally. So I can do that, or I can flip it that way. I can also grab this handle and spin it if I wanted to do that. So again, you already have quite a bit of flexibility. I can also take it and drag it down. Those lines show me if it's completely centered horizontally or vertically. Let's say I want to drop it down here. I can do that. I can even turn it so it's at an angle, right? So again, more flexibility. Right now I'm at zoom level 7%. I can always increase this to 10% or more. I don't like it at an angle. That's killing my OCD, is going nuts right now. All right, so I can do that. Again, now that I've clicked in here, right here is some options for the actual solution. So I can click on this to show the solution and click update. And as you can see, it defaults to having the solution in red. I can always go in and change that if I wanted. I can change the thickness to make the dashes thinner or thicker. I personally, because I don't like to do colored puzzle or activity books, because I like to keep the print cheaper. So it's a higher profit margin for me. But if you want to do color, you absolutely can. And just leave it at red, or you can change it to whatever color you want. I'm going to deselect that, hit update. Okay, now along the left-hand side, we have options, right? So we've got icons. So if I click in here, there are icons that I can choose from, right? And as you can see, there it'll show you 3, but then over here, it'll say view 12 more, view 9 more. And how many icons you get is going to depend on the tier that you decide to get. Over here, you can do uploads. This is one thing that's super special about this particular app compared to other ones. And this one, even on tier 1, even the very first, what they call front end offer, the very first offer, you can upload your own images, which is something that most software don't allow you to do right out of the gate. But with this one, because the whole point of this software is, besides just being about mazes, is the flexibility and the fact that you can use it for themes. So obviously you need to be able to upload your own images. So I can go in here and I can click upload image. All right, I can upload some images, and then I can just, let's say I'm going to click on the squirrel, insert. All right, put him, reduce him. He's going to be over here. He's going to be at the start. And then I want to give the tree is going to be the ending point. Okay. And then maybe somewhere along the way, he's going to have to pick up the acorn. And then I can put this maybe right there, something like that. Obviously, I would probably do a lot more with the background. But again, this right here it's a maze, right? And it's unique to my book. It's something that nobody else has done. Now, these images I got from Pixabay. I wouldn't use Pixabay images in my final product. I would probably either use deposit photos, or I would use something that I either had purchased from Creative Fabrica, or maybe had somebody on Fiverr create me a whole set, something along those lines. But for the sake of this video, these are the images that I grabbed. So again, that quickly I've made a themed maze, and I would do an entire book about, in this case, springtime. And so each maze would have springtime type images and mazes in it. Okay. So again, you can do create the maze, you can put in the images. You've got the icons, like I said, that come with it, depending on which tier you get. You also have elements. I'll click on this. Right now, the elements are, they only have a few because I'm publishing this video on Friday, November 7th, when this actually goes live. So you may see some things that say coming soon because, well, when I'm recording this, they don't exist yet. And so you'll see, there's so much stuff already here, and they're still adding stuff. So I'm super excited about that. All right, so I'm going to go back. They're going to some intro pages, some borders, and then down here we've got different layouts. And let's add a page. I'm going to go over here, add a page. All right, and then this one is Christmas. These are all Christmas themed right here. And as you can see, it says view 96 more. That's right, there are about 100. And let's just do this one. All right, now let me zoom in a bit just so you can see it a little bit more. It's a whole page. It's everything. It's images, it's the maze, it's all these icons, little characters. It's literally all done. Now, I say this to show you how easy this is. Like, it's literally generated it right there with just a couple clicks of a button. Now, I would not use these as they are. I would not do that. Because anybody who buys the software is going to have access to the exact same stuff. But, it's a starting point. You can use it as a base. You can I can click on this, and I can just hit the delete button and delete them. If I wanted to, I could, instead of doing that, I could take this snowflake, Control C, I can copy it, Control V, and it pasted it up here in the center, and I can just move it over here. So maybe I want more. So again, you have so much flexibility, so many things that you can do. You can copy things, you can move things around. And as you saw, there's like 100 different, and these are all Christmas related, and they're all different. The mazes are different. The images are different. And these aren't like AI generated images. There's actually a team at Cloud Orca that are actually artists that are doing these. And these mazes, the same thing. They are not AI generated. These are actually crafted by these artists, and they're crafted in a very specific way. And I'm going to show you that in a second when it comes to changing and making these mazes our own. All right, and then we've got the settings down here, and this is where you set the settings for your book. What trim size do you want? How do you want the numbering? What you want the borders to be. Do you want to show the margins? So let's say you click show margins and I update. Now we have these margins right here along the side. I don't know if you can see that. All right. So now you see these margins. So if you wanted to do a book and you wanted to put, no bleed, you're within the margins. So you don't have to worry about getting those KDP errors saying that you're inside the margins. You need to select bleed and you didn't select bleed and all that other stuff. So, that, like I said, just one more thing that you can do that makes it easier for you to create the book. All right, so we're going to go here. I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to update, and we're going to go back to the beginning. And I want to show you some of the things that you can do with the book, that you can really make these puzzles your own and make them stand out and make them different than everybody else that's doing it. So we're going to go back to my puzzle, right? So we did right here. I am going to bump this back up to 10. So I think that's a good size for, at least for our purposes right now. We're going to go and we'll just double click the maze itself. All right. And so when I double click it, I have this icon that I showed you before, and it's the edit. And it's where I can actually go in and edit the maze. So there's a couple things I can do. I'm going to show my solutions. So we see that. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to edit. And when I edit the maze, I can edit a couple things. I can edit the solution. So maybe I want the solution to be different. I can edit the maze itself, or I can just reset everything to the way it was. And I'll use this a lot, is I'll actually click on this and I'll zoom in, so it makes things a little bit easier. So right now, highlighted is the default solution. I'm going to minimize this just so you can see all the options. All right. So we have the default solution. It's the one that's there. We have the custom solution. That's what we're going to change. And then intersections as well. Intersection, where things meet up, right? And so like right here would be an intersection. If I open this up, right now I'm on solution. If I wanted to change the solution, you see how I highlight it? If I just hover over it, and it will highlight from blue to red. So I can click on that and it will show me which one of these goes to. And as you saw, I clicked on it and it just deleted it. So I can change the solution just by literally clicking on the solution and make it go a different way. Let's say I want it to go, instead of going this way, I want it to go this way. So I can click over here. You see that highlights when I hover over it, even though it's not a solution yet. If I click on it, it now becomes a solution. So I now made it, instead of going under this way, it's going to go this way. Well, you might be thinking, well, Keith, there's a line there. You can't do that. That's not part of the maze. Well, I can change that. So I go to maze, and then right here, I clicked on it. It now disappeared. So now, if I go back to solution, that's now a viable option, right? So now they can go from here and go this way. So then I want to make this, since we're on the solution, click on these. And then now, instead of them going, since they're not going this way anymore because I changed it, I'm going to deselect these. And let's say I want them to be able to go, they're going to go this way. Okay. Again, but I've got this line's in the way. So again, I can go back to the maze, click on that line. It's now gone. And so that quickly, I've completely rerouted the maze. I've completely changed it. And then if I like the way it looks, I can go in and hit apply. And as you can see, the maze now changed, right? It's not the way it was before. See right here, it went from here, it was going this way is the way it was before. And now it's going up and around. I completely changed this maze. So that makes this maze different than the one that you're getting when you click on that. Because again, I made that change all by myself, right? Quick, just clicking a couple buttons. And that shows how amazing the artists are that did this, because they had to design it in such a way that will allow the software to let you do that. So again, just that's pretty amazing, and so much flexibility. All right, so real quick, I mean, that's how quick you can create a maze. That's how quick you can add some features to it, add some elements, and how quickly you can change it. And so actually, now that I've changed this acorn actually has to go somewhere that actually makes sense. So let's put this acorn right there. Let's zoom in and we'll put this right there. All right, looks good. So I will turn off the solution, update it, and there we go. Again, that's my page. That's my very first page. I've already gone in and I've got the Christmas one. So obviously I wouldn't put this in my springtime book. But again, I mean, you've got all these different maze options to choose from. And each one of these was created by actual artists. And each of these I can go through and move them around. I can make them bigger, smaller. I can delete entire sections of it if I wanted to. I can add sections to it depending on what is available. Again, I can completely change the maze. I can completely change the solution. So you're probably asking, all right, Keith, so I see the flexibility, I see what I can do, but what do I get in each of the different tiers? So that's what we're going to cover next. So first of all, let me just ask, if you are impressed with what you've seen so far, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you like about it. Let me know what you don't like about it. If there's anything that you think could be better, if there's anything that you're confused about, let me know down in the comments. I will read and answer every single comment that I get. So feel free to drop them down, not just today when I'm launching this, but in the future. You watch this video, let me know in the comments what you think about it. Let me know what questions you might have, and I'll answer any questions that I can. And if I don't know the answer, I'll reach out to Niranjan and I'll find the answer for you, and I'll still let you know. All right, so what is included with the front end offer? So the front end offer is the very first offer. I'm not going to cover price because prices change, and this video is going to be up for for all of eternity unless YouTube decides to take it down. So I'm not going to cover price, but I am going to tell you what's in each tier. So in the first tier, and I'm looking over here because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. In the first tier, you get access to obviously the system, the point and click. You get access to the hand drawn mazes. That, like I said, they're handcrafted. Like they're not AI generated. With the Christmas templates that I showed you, I know I showed you 100. In the front end offer, you get access to 50 programmed illustration maze templates in the holiday niche. I didn't show the text that you can add text in here, but you can add text in. There are over 900 font options. You get that access all again within the front end offer. So the very first offer, I can go in here. I can type Nutty Maze. I can click over here and make it centered. Lower this so it doesn't get in the way. So I can do that. That's included in it. The option to show the maze solution on the page, like I just did, as well as obviously you can add solutions to the end of your book. We have this option right here to clone the page. So I can just click on this and it will clone it right there. Clone it. So then all I have to do is go in and change the text, change some images around, but the puzzle, if I want the puzzle to be the same or at least the same base puzzle, and then I can go in and make tweaks if I want to. We also have these arrows right here, so I can shuffle these pages. I can move these pages around as I want. So I can just make it go down one. I can take the Christmas one and put that up a couple. So again, I can kind of move things around as I want. And like I showed you in the settings, you can add page numbers. You also have the multiple trim sizes that makes it so it's compatible with KDP. So you don't have to reformat things or resize things. You can just click it, click what size you want, what trim size, and you're good to go. The margin, show the page margins, again, so you can visualize it and not have to worry about things being in the margins and bleed and all that other stuff. Again, like I said, the ability to insert your own images into your mazes, again, all on the front end offer. I've never seen a software that does that has multiple offers, and on the front end they allow you to insert your own images. Typically they don't do that. That's an upsell. But in this one, it's a front end offer. You have this ability to download the book or just a page. So I can click on here on the page and download the page, or at the top, I can click here and it'll download the entire book, everything that I've created, all the pages. And with the front end offer, you can download into PDF, PNG, or JPEG formats. So again, a lot of flexibility that you have with the downloads. You're also allowed up to 100 downloads per month. Now, I say this with every product that Cloud Orchid does. If you're going to stick with the front end offer where you have the 100 download limit per month, understand that a download is whatever you download. So if you download just one page, that's one download. But if you download an entire book, so if you've created 50 pages or 100 pages and then you download it, that's still one download. So if you're going to stick with the front end offer and not get any upgrades, then make sure, my biggest suggestion is to make sure that when you're downloading as much as you can. In each download. Don't do it one page at a time. That would be a quick way to go through your 100 downloads a month. And then of course you get access to customer support, and you also get the most important part to me, which is commercial rights to be able to create and sell your products and scale. You can scale your business. It's not like some of these platforms when you get commercial rights, but you only get commercial rights up to a certain number of copies sold. You don't have to worry about that with this. So again, that's all in the front end offer. So now what's included with the first upgrade? With the first upgrade, first and foremost, you get unlimited downloads per month. So you don't have to worry about the 100 download limit. You also get access to, when you download, instead of just the PDF, PNG, and JPEG, you also have access to download to the PPTX, which is a PowerPoint file. That's great if you want to, download the PPTX file and use it in conjunction with maybe other puzzles or things like that, the activities that you've created with other software, and you can combine them all in PowerPoint using the PPTX file. So you get that option with the upgrade. You also get access to this button right here, which is the global randomizer. So you could randomize all the pages instead of with the front end offer, you have to click the arrows on each page to kind of move things around. If you literally want things to be just random, you can click on this and it will randomize the pages. If you don't like the way it looks, click on it again, or randomize it again until you like the way it lays everything out, the way it randomizes the pages. So again, in the first upgrade, you get access to the global randomizer. You also get 50 more maze options, over here. You also get the ability to, when you upload your own images, before in the front end offer, you can upload one image at a time. So you have to click on it, upload it, click on it, upload it. With the first upgrade, you can actually upload multiple at the same time, which is what I did. I uploaded all 3 of them at the same time, which if you're dealing with 3, it's not that big of a deal, whether you do them one at a time or you do them in bulk. But if you have 100 different images that you want to upload, it's going to be a big difference. So again, being able to bulk upload can really be a huge time saver. And of course, the more images you upload, the more things that you make unique, the better your chances of getting sales, because yours will be different than my book. It will be different than somebody else's. So again, making them unique is really what makes any kind of book really sell, is making it different than everybody else's. Because if you try to copy what somebody else has, the chances are you're not going to sell, because if it's the same as somebody else, they're going to buy the book that already is out there, that already has reviews and already has social proof. So again, being able to add and customize it is really a big deal. Also, with the first upgrade, you get access to a full color palette. Remember I showed you on the solutions that you could change the color on, for the stroke of the solutions. You get a full palette. Also the same thing for changing the color of the fonts. If you want the fonts to be, you don't want them to be black, you want it to be in different colors, especially depending on what your theme is going to be. You want to do Valentine's Day, for example, you'll probably want to use a lot of reds, things like that. You can do using the upgrade. You also have the ability to bulk delete. Before I could only delete one page at a time. I can click up here and delete all the pages if I wanted. And then similarly, you have access to bulk clone. So instead of just cloning one page, I can bulk clone. So I can click on this and it's going to give me options for how I want to bulk clone. So again, I can do that with the first upgrade. Now the second upgrade, what's included in the second upgrade, this is where the game change really happens. Remember when I showed you about how I could tweak the mazes and delete things? It's called the Smart Maze Editor. This is what is in the second upgrade. You get full creative control of your maze solutions and maze with the second upgrade. So again, if you liked what I did about being able to delete the walls and delete the maze, the solution and all that, that's all in the second upgrade. So that's where, like I said, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you really have full customization to your puzzles and the solutions. You also get 200 additional program illustrated maze layouts, again, giving even more flexibility and diversity, 300 premium holiday themed page layouts. And these are, like I showed you before, complete with the mazes, the hand-drawn illustrations, all developed by their in-house illustrators, again, not using AI. And again, that's all included with the second upgrade. And then the third upgrade is really all about just taking it to the next level. It's all about images. You get 500 more premium icons. So over here where I showed you the grid of icons, again, even more, you get 500 plus premium icons. You also get 500 plus illustrations. So illustrations that can be used for coloring pages. If you want to do more than just a maze, you want to do a maze and coloring pages in your book. Or you can do something where they can color and do the maze on the same page. However you want to do it. Again, the flexibility is out of this world. I mean, it's all up to you as the creator of the books. And each of these upgrades also include tutorials on how to use them, how to utilize them at best. And I know I briefly showed you how to create these things, but I mean, like I said, some of the icons that they have here, I mean, like, you know, they got giraffes and, you know, houses and all these other, you know, cool little icons and stuff like that are, in this case, theme related around Christmas. But there are other things, like I said, like the, you know, the giraffe was not, you know, that's not Christmassy. But yeah, I mean, all these options, again, depending on what tier you end up buying. And those are what you get with the different tiers of the best maze generator. Overall, I must admit, this is an extremely flexible and interactive maze generator. But the question is it really the best maze generator in the world? To be honest, that really depends completely on what kind of mazes you want to create. I mean, it's definitely the most versatile and customizable maze generator that I've ever used. But I guess that would be a pretty long name for a product. Anyway, again, if you want to check out the best maze generator for yourself, you can head on over to kwheelerbooks.com/BMG. Now, if you're looking to create full activity books, well, then you may want to check out the interesting niche of mini puzzles. I've got a video right here all about it. But now, if that's not your jam, then I bet you'd love this video right here. I'll catch you inside one of these videos. And remember to write right.